Hey everybody, I'm back with part two. You didn't think I could go days and days and days without doing part two. It is part two of two, by the way. Well, let's get right down to it. You heard my preamble in the previous episode. I'm going to jump right into these Atlas comics. Real quick, Atlas was trying so hard to compete with Marvel. Martin Goodman made Stan Lee publisher of Marvel after decades, and then Chip Goodman, the son, he was hurt really bad, and I guess by not being anointed the next publisher, and so somehow they had some recollection, and Martin and Chip, father and son, decided, well, we'll show Marvel a thing or two. We built Marvel up. Those guys didn't do anything. So they became as derivative as they could. But despite that, they did come out with some cool comics. And they're relatively affordable. And so here's a Larry Lieber cover. I could tell that 100 miles away. Larry Lieber did the Hulk newspaper strip when the TV show was doing really good. When it came on the scene, it was a big sensation, and so they did an adventure newspaper strip, and Larry Lieber did it, and he did it with a healthy dose of Jack Kirby images. Like some were swipes, but a lot of them were more like it was Larry just doing his version of. He kind of distilled some of the stuff that Kirby was doing, not necessarily action in your face type stuff, because just like the TV show, it had to be grounded in boring reality, walking around with a knapsack and hearing sad music at the end of each episode. So, okay, Kid Cody. I was only aware of this recently. I bought this recently. Actually, I bought it one time at a dollar bin. It had 1, 2, 3 hole punches in it, and I didn't even notice. And I felt like a moron, but I'm like, oh, that's probably why it was $1. So, here we go. Doug friggin' Wildey. Fantastic artist. He's just so, I don't know, he's like the artist. Amazing stuff. There's a lot going on here too. And this doesn't look like Marvel Westerns. Those look more superheroic. This actually looked kind of like a DC book, because they were more serious about how they did their Westerns. And then we get the Comanche Kid, Jack Abel doing pencils. How about that? Inks by Al Milgrom. They switched it out. And Steve Skeets, who I've always wondered about. I'll have to look him up on Wikipedia, because he always comes like in and out of the comics industry every, 7 or 8 years, and then he disappears. But really, really great stuff. Jack Abel, man, kicking ass. I love it. Really cool, really cool. And now, Son of Dracula. I have to confess, I'm not a big vampire character or fan. My only things I like are the Universal monsters, and then the black and white silent film of Dracula. I think it was called Vlad. But in comics form, Tomb of Dracula was like the... What was it? It was like the gold standard on how to do a long comic with the same great creators, but I'm just not into Dracula. I don't know why. Maybe someday. Who knows? So this is done by a story by Gary Friedrich, and who did the art? Frank Thorne. Oh yeah, baby. He I don't know if he was the first one to draw Red Sonja in comics. But man, magnificent stuff. I love this. I haven't seen this in a while. I completely forgot Frank Thorne was doing this. He also did a creator-owned character called Gita or something. It was like Ghita, I think, and it was like this green skinned woman who, like a petite girl who skateboarded or had something like that. Either way, it was cool. But Frank Thorne, man, he is his own, he has his own style. And now we got Tales of Evil. You can see that Jack Kirby folds in the clothes, that kind of stuff. Looks very Kirby-ish. And but that's okay. Like I said, Larry was in the trenches with everybody else in the 60s when Stan was trying to prop the company up after it almost folded. Tales of Evil. Russ Jones. I don't know who Russ Jones is, but the art is by Jerry Grandinetti, and I think he's done a lot of, oh look, 113.75. Let me see. Anyway, I've heard of his name, and I think he's done stuff for like Charlton and stuff. And maybe some DC, but he does good stuff. This is very different from anybody. So there's that ad that drives me nuts. It's like, everybody scoot sideways so we could fit in the photo. It's really good stuff. Really good stuff. Then we go to Tales of Evil. They decided, I guess, to become sort of a what would you call, like a showcase of different monsters. You know, the Bog Beast. Man, it's that gross looking, but it's really cool. The Bog Beast. I love all this going on, and I love that it's one color, so you could focus. Jack Sparling again. Joe Albano. It's weird because half of the characters in these Atlas books, they have like monster kind of roots to them. Is this the same guy? Yeah, I think it's still Sparling. I'm not sure. Oh, Tom Sutton, man. Inking himself. Tom's just a great guy. He's one of those guys that nobody thinks of when they think of fantastic artists. They all go to the same ones, like, you know, Perez and Byrne, and rightfully so, but it's like, you know, Tom Sutton really deserves the limelight. I'd love to see a book of just his work. Now, this is what grabbed me. Again, I've never seen any of these in the wild. I only got it through a 3 for 30 cent comic book deal that the distributors illegally put together by using Coverless Comics or these tear sheets to tell the publisher that they couldn't sell those. I guess it was instead of sending them all back complete, I think the weight of the packaging would have been heavier. So that's no doubt Rich Buckler. That's 100%. Now, I saw this ad in one of the other books, and I just thought, oh, that looks so cool. There we go. Tony Isabella, Rich Buckler, and inked by Mike Vosberg, relative newcomer to the scene. And they make a really nice team. Really sharp stuff. Now, like I said, there's a lot of these characters, like Morlock 3000. He would turn into a monster. So this guy's kind of cool. I love that. It's just so Rich Buckler. Love that. Doing his Kirby thing. It's really fun. Oh, there's another story. I skipped over it. This one is art by Romero. I don't know who Romero is. If somebody can mention it below, I'd appreciate it. I don't think it's George Romero, but really, really great. This is wow. This is like stuff you would put in a black and white comic where you do extra details to kind of make up for the lack of color. But wow, I love that. I got to reread a lot of these again. It's been a while. Now there's John Target. He's a cop. Oh, here we go. The word from the mob is out. Get on target. Not the best kind of phraseology, but won't matter. Duffy, Rovin, Myers, and Nostrin. Now, I know Duffy Voland, I think, he was an assistant when he was one of the, what do you call those things? Production guys, you know, for Marvel and that. But Nostrin's the only one I really noticed. Maybe Myers is the penciler, but Howard Nostrin, he's just fantastic. He's got the same ink line, the same nuanced ink line of either Wally Wood or, I dare say, Will Eisner in places. Really, really sweet stuff. You can see what I'm saying there with the shade. It has a touch of Eisner to it. Really amazing stuff. And then we go to the next. All of a sudden, they decided, well, he needs costume now. You know, that's what's. Again, all these ideas were just like, let the book get out there and sell. It's like, you know, you're not using any real research in any of this. You're just throwing shit out there, and it's like And that previous issue probably hadn't been out by the time this was done. So, it really didn't seem thought out enough to where you'd say, oh, okay, he was going to be that way. No. Au contraire. Au contraire. Who says that? I sound like a moron. Okay, there we go with Nostrand. Really beautiful stuff. Eat lead. I like the coloring too. It's very, very, very. People could, there we go. See this. Here's what I get, that Eisner vibe, that bald guy and stuff. So, Howard Nostrand. I can't remember. This is like his latter years. He didn't live much longer beyond this. I can't say quite exactly when. And he had assistants like a lot of good artists do. Rich Buckler cover baby. Now this is the one Atlas book that I got first. There was like a Hulk reprint from Marvel Superheroes on one side. There was a DC on the other side, Teen Titans or something, and then this was in the middle. And somehow they didn't slice that off, and so I got a whole cover copy. This isn't the original. That was ages and ages ago, but all of a sudden now he's a badass. Now check this out, man. Now Kupperberg is actually contributing, maybe on the poses. I don't know. Maybe he's still just a letterer, and which is okay. Hand lettering is really okay. Here's what I'm getting my Eisner feel from with this guy. I think I previewed this on previous episodes. So I just wanted to show. I love the costume. Professor Death is awesome. So much is going on. But yeah, excellent. I have like 3 copies of these in my spinner rack just because I like to look at them. Tiger Man. Now this first issue was a real misfire. It was Ernie Cullen, who had done a lot of Richie Rich comics. He's super versatile, but I think this was his first superhero book because there's a lot of awkward stuff in there. So far it's good, but there's a couple pages that see, like that. That's just kind of weird. It kind of looks amateurish, and I think it was just a learning curve for Ernie. See how it's just there. It's a cool story. It's nothing original, of course, but here's the page I think is really kind of amateurish. But the next issue though, he snapped to and he just poured on and said, okay, well, how do we do this superhero business? So, is this Steve Ditko? Oh, maybe. I don't see. Oh, yeah. Gary Conway, Steve Ditko. Oop, I forgot. Maybe that was the reason they put Ditko on, because they know he knew the language of a superhero comic book. And it's very different from a lot of others. It's, when the Blue Leopard strikes. Whoa, Blue Leopard. Look out, man. Wow. I think he was just their a dollar store version of Black Panther. I'm getting the impression. So, but yeah, I forgot that. I got to really reread a lot of these. That's been a while. I was acting all smug coming into this, thinking, I'll just educate everybody because I know everything. This is a Larry Lieber cover. Really, really good. Really good. And very 1970, even though this is 75. The most savage superhero of the Atlas Age. So now, there we go. Ditko and Milgrom. I guess Ernie didn't make the cut after a while, but nice team here. Milgram's bold blacks, really add a little extra something to that to the Ditko stew. Really cool stuff. Really cool stuff. Now let's get this is something wild too. The tarantula. One thing, love pink on green. I love that they chose pink. That's so great. And again, all new, no reprint, because Marvel was getting a bad habit of doing reprints. The next, Avengers 136 was going to be late, so what they did is they just stuck in an old Amazing Adventure story and you didn't know it until you bought it, and then you look inside and it would say like originally presented and blah 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 blah. So this was something Atlas was kind of rubbing in Marvel's face, but rightfully so in a way, And also there were some books Roy Thomas wrote where he would put no reprints, all new, just because I guess the word was out. Okay, man, do I love Pat Boyette. Much like Frank Robbins and others, I did not like his style. It just wasn't, your standard house style for Marvel or DC. It was just so different. And now I really love his stuff. Man. I mean, look at all that going on there. He don't scrimp on nothing. He did a lot. He's mostly worked for Charlton. He's pretty much a Charlton guy most of his career. The Tarantula. But yeah, I'm totally digging on this stuff. I think what it is I grew to like these guys because once I got in the business as an inker, and I've inked a lot of people, even George Perez, Jerry Ordway, and then some newbies here and there. It helped educate me on how much work goes into a comics page, even if right away I don't understand the style or I don't appreciate the style at first. But as time goes on, I'm just like, wow. So yeah. Weird Suspense featuring the Tarantula, very superheroic cover. I don't know who did the previous one. It was kind of Neil Adams-ish. This one has more Pat Boyette. The Spider Witch. I think he's doing his own lettering too. I'm pretty sure he does. Yeah, I think so too. I'm talking to myself. So that's a healthy sign, talking to myself. I mean, Jim Aparo did it incredibly. He laid out those pages with the lettering in mind, where he'd put the letters down. There, still Pat Boyette. Gary Friedrich is the scripter. Yeah, see, these are all those like sort of bootleg stuff that you could buy back then. Here's Atlas people trying to sell you stuff. The Buster Crabbe is Flash Gordon in the long play record album. Flintstone hobby kits, Seaboard periodicals. Seaboard is Atlas. So they actually did have legitimate, rights to sell that kind of stuff. Wolf the Barbarian. Really, really pretty stuff. And I've said before, I'm not a barbarian dude. I'm too much of a wuss. So, but Larry Hama and Klaus Janson, I'm there. I am there, baby. And, Larry writes it as well as draws it. And both of these guys, as I'd mentioned once before, they came... At this time, they were just really fresh out of Neil Adams' Continuity Studios. I mean, so they learned from the master. And so many fantastic artists owe their talents. I shouldn't say talent. They owe their careers to Neil Adams. I love that. I wonder if that's like a Zipatone. I don't know. Maybe. Another great cover. This one, I think, man, this almost looks like Wrightson or Bruner, but I can't find it. I don't know. Of course, every one of these Atlas books has a woman helpless. It's just so goofy. It's not even just like a barbarian thing, but if you've been watching, like from the very first book I showed you, the Blazing Battles, and with Sergeant Stryker, and then other ones, like there's always, a conveniently helpless woman. So they didn't really do much for gender equality at the time. Now there's Larry Hama and Klaus again. Wait a second. Thanks to Neil Adams, Ralph Reese, Ed Davis, Wally Wood, Bob McLeod, Pat Broderick, Vincente Alcazar, Paul Kirchner, and Jack Abel. So this basically was a jam piece. It was drawn by Larry, and then Klaus did the most of it. That's such a Neil Adams spread there. Too bad it wasn't connected. But yeah, I mean, it is these kind of things that I love. I mean, when I was a kid, I actually did want to be an inker because I could see certain artists look better with a different inker, named than others. So I thought, well, I'd like to make somebody else's work look as good as it can. So this looks a little Tom Sutton-y. I don't know. Helpless woman. So silly. Leo Summers. You make me feel like... Oh, that's Leo Sayer. Steve Skeets. Oh, yeah, we got that change again. So in a way, they were a lot like Marvel because they constantly changed characters. They couldn't go like 4 issues without replacing people. And just to be clear on Ernie Colon, he grew to do superheroes really good, and he did one of my favorite miniseries called Damage Control, which came out in 1990. It was a humor book written by Dwayne McDuffie, who would go on to form Milestone Comics. It was about after superheroes and supervillains destroy the city, who cleans up after them. And I really recommend that. And Ernie just does a fantastic job on it. It's fun. It's funny, and it's grounded. It's not silly. Okay, who is this? Oh, Jim Craig. Okay, a friend from Canada. Inks Atlas Bullpen. Yep, there he goes. But that's pretty good. Like I said, Jim Craig, I think he was brand new. A little stiff. Kind of some of these pages look like they're samples. But then you just kind of do what you can. And here's the thing: when I start off inking, actually for many years, and to this day, I never ever ever start with page 1. If it's an artist I've never worked with before, never start on page 1. I'll start on like page 5 or 6 or something like that, because I have to get warmed up to the penciler. I have to. I would do better than that, but I mean, you have to warm up to the penciler, and then you save your big money shots for a few pages later when you're really, you're really getting in touch with, with the penciler. So, I mean, image-wise, not just bullshit-wise. So swears a wolf or something. So, yeah, it's kind of wonky, but that's it. And that's the only things. I'm missing a couple of books. I think there's another cowboy one and another. I don't know. I was looking, but there's 2 magazines that came out. I think big black and white magazines like Marvel was doing, and it was called Gothic Romance, which is just a killer name. And it also had this great painted cover, and it's supposed to be pretty rare and pretty pricey. But the rest of the Atlas books, you get them really affordable. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, if you have any corrections, if you have any naysaying or whatever, hey, we are all in it for comics, and there's no agenda, and we're having fun. And I love doing this channel, and thankfully the audience is growing. I'm really, really, really grateful for that. And that's about it. I mean, I used to just say this stuff to myself in my studio. Not quite, but yeah. Anyway, that's all. I'm available for commissions if you go to... Do I have that piece here? Yeah. Hold on. I'll be done. I promise, real quick. Yeah. Like, this is an actual size commission I did, pencil and inks. This is a cover sketch I penciled and inked. And this is an 11 by 17 piece that I inked over Sheldon Go, G-O-H, across the other side of the world. This is an 11 by 17 cover recreation. And then that's just me penciling and inking to my favorite characters, which somebody requested. And where is... I just put my head around here somewhere. Anyway, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Hang it, everybody. Everybody. Okay, I'm going to write it right here. La 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 la. Okay. I gotta get a jingle or something. And then, whoops. Only I can mess it up. dot. Okay, here we go. And if you want a commission by me, just get in touch with me with Drew Geraci Comics. I can't even say my name. Drew Geraci Comics at gmail.com. And, you know, we could talk turkey. There's no set prices for everything. Degree of difficulty or, that's all. And I have 3 great novels on Amazon that I recommend you read if you like rocking and rolling and you know, death and mobsters and all this stuff. Anyway, that's it. That's all my wares at the moment. And have a great day, and I hope you dug this video as much as part 1.